Shalom. I give all glory and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, QADASH. Double honors to the elders, apostle, great millstone, and top of this church and city. Citation to the hopeful that spread out from the third. So I'm going to be going. This is going to be a lesson entitled "Israelites' Hearts Like Flint." Okay, so this heading or this title was inspired to me by the Holy Spirit. I was just reading Zechariah 7 here, and I'm just going to do I'm going to build this over this whole chapter. It's not long. It's pretty short, so it shouldn't take an hour. It shouldn't, depend on the spirit. It shouldn't take, So hearts like flint, So I want you to keep this word in mind, okay? There's a phrase in my heart, so like flint. So this is Zechariah 7:1. It reads, "And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Darius, that the word of the Lord came unto Zechariah in the 4th day of the 9th month, even in Chesalu." Okay. Now, and it came to pass in the 4th year of King Darius. Now, this Darius refers to Darius the first. Okay. Darius, the son of Hastaspes, the founder of the Persian Aryan dynasty, which referred to Darius the First, also known as Darius the First or Darius the Great. Okay, and he basically got to rulership. He got to rulership around 5. It was 522, and he ruled to 522 BCE, and ruled to 486 BCE. So he ruled for quite a long time. That's why as Darius the Great. He ruled quite a bit. As the word of the Lord came unto Zechariah in the 4th day of the night, and even in Chesalu, when they had sent. Now this is after. Now this was during when Israel was exiled. Okay, the temple got destroyed. Okay, in Jerusalem. Go to read Ezra's the 6th chapter. It goes into the temple being rebuilt. Okay. But yeah, so during the time of Darius' rulership, but during the time of Cyrus and Darius the Great rulership, the temple was being rebuilt. Okay. And that took 70 years to complete. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the temple did get complete. The second temple, that is, it did get complete. That's not the second temple. It was it was the second temple. Yeah. It did get complete. It did get complete. During the reign of Darius the Great. So they were, so we continue to Zechariah 7:2 says, when they had sent unto the house of the Most High, Shreezar and Regiment and their men to pray before the Lord. Now these were ultimately Israelites, okay, and these were like basically the king's officials, okay, and they were sent as they were given authority, or they would basically represent representatives of, they were sent to seek the Lord for counsel, and it's by going to it. So I'm going to read. So from here on down, I'm probably going to put the NLT version because I like how the NLT explain it and break it down, and I think it would make understanding what these particular birds or the particular verses are saying. I'm going to the New Living Translation. This is Zechariah 7:3. In that it reads, "They were to ask this question of the prophets and the priests at the temple of the Lord of heaven's armies: should we continue to mourn and fast each summer on the anniversary of the temple's destruction, as we had done for so many years?" So this question was being asked by the king's officials, Shazar and Regimelech, to the Lord. And they were asking about, should they continue to, consecrate themselves, to continue to basically pulling on the garment of sackcloth, okay, putting on sackcloth, right, and basically continue to mourn each summer on the anniversary of the temple destruction. Now let me look something here quick. Yeah, so 580 BCE. Is when the first temple, also known as Solomon Temple, basically got destroyed. And the second temple did take 7 years. So that's correct. And that temple was ultimately destroyed in 7 CE by the Roman Empire. Yeah, so yeah, so each year, okay, each year or each anniversary, they will set aside their time and their day to mourn for the temple. The Lord of Heaven's army sent me this message in reply. Say to all your peoples and your priests, during these 17 years of exile, when you fasted and mourned in the summer and in early autumn, was it really for me that you were fasting, right? Because remember, the Lord, He tries the rain. The Lord, He vows our 10th brother son. And ultimately, the Lord, He tries, his eyes are tent, like no. He tries the rain, right? He tries the rain of the heart, basically. Basically. Wait, let me see if I can break it out. Psalm 79. There it is. He tried the hearts and the reins, This is Psalm 7 and 9 reads, "Oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just. For the righteous power is Most High tries the hearts and reins." Meaning what? That he 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 will he examine, okay? He examine the spirit of a, because really your heart gonna match your mind, right? Which means you want your spirit. So he's examining the spirit of a person, okay? You know, to see, are they, to ultimately to found them out, okay? To see if they're really, whether ultimately to see if they're wicked or righteous, okay? What they're doing, okay? So this is why when the Lord this is why the Lord oops. Fuck, I'm just looking something up real quick. Bear with me. Yeah, okay. So as I was saying, yeah, so the Lord, what he was doing over here, going back to Zechariah 7, um, he was he was he was trying to he was basically, telling um he was telling Zechariah, okay, ultimately Zechariah, because his message didn't come, the Lord, he didn't speak to Sherzar and Reg. He spoke to Zechariah because Sherzar and Reg, they weren't prophets, so to speak, or priests. So they didn't have that. They didn't have that. They didn't. They didn't. The Lord, he didn't, because the Lord, he only speaks through his prophets, or through the one he sent. Okay, so you know these were just king's officials, right? These just represented. These were just men, okay, officials, not officials for the Lord. So when you go back to Zechariah 7:5, it goes into say to all your people and your priests during these 70 years of exile, when you fast and mourn his summer and out, was it really for me that you're fasting? Okay, because the Lord, it's the reason why the Lord asked the question, right? Because he was trying the hearts of every Israelite that was fasting. Mainly the priests. Okay, because with Jake, there always there's always something. There's always you can't truly trust Jake. Okay, especially um, especially those that were because there's a reason why we're in the cat. There's a reason why Jake got exiled, right? Because they were wicked. They were being wicked. They were worshiping other gods, etc. Right? Someone continue going on, says, and even now in your holy festivals, are you eating and drinking just to please yourself? Right. You know. So even in exile, Jake, they weren't really, you know, they weren't really um just like Jake now, right? Just like it's modern Jake. We're in captivity now, and guess what? Jake, they're eating and drinking, but it's not to the Lord. It's not they're celebrating because they're having a good old time, but it's not to the Lord. It's to themselves. Okay, it's to please themselves, not to please the Lord. Okay, just like they were doing it back then. Okay, they were eating and drinking, but to please themselves. Okay, they were dedicating that to the Lord, YAHAWASHI. Isn't this the same message the Lord proclaimed through the prophets in years past when Jerusalem, in the towns of Judah, were bustling with people in the I'm not going to pronounce that word correctly, Negel, in the foothills of Judah, were well populated. Yep. So and then this message came to Zechariah from the Lord. So they were doing this, the same thing they're doing now. It was the same thing they were doing, back, during when the prophets before Zechariah, when they were prophesying. Okay, when and Jake was just being selfish. The message came to Zechariah from the Lord, YAHAWASHI. This is what the Lord of Heaven's army says: judge fairly and show mercy and kindness to one another. Right, Jake wanted to judge them fairly. Jake wanted to show them mercy, and Jake, they were breaking the laws. Okay, ultimately, do not oppress widows, orphans, foreigners, and the poor. Do not scheme against each other. What's the word scheme? To make plans, especially in a devious way or with intent to do something illegal on your own. So Jake were scheming against one another. Okay, they were, they wanted to see the downfall of one another. As their ancestors refused to listen to this message, they stubbornly turned away and put their fingers in their ears to keep from hearing. And this basically goes back to the title, hearts like flint. Meaning what? That it was go back to your mind. Ultimately, it was clay flint is a hard stone. Okay, it is a stone that can easily be crushed. Okay, so it's like an adamant stone, basically. Look that up. Look up a flint and that adamant stone, and look at the and go into the basically the I forget what you call it. Think of the density. Yeah. So flintstone is basically is a hard sedimentary rock. So basically the Lord was saying that Jake was making their heart just like they did, just like their forefather. Now I'm gonna go to the MT. I'm gonna go to the KJV. It says, but they refused to hearken, pull away the shoulder, and stop their ears that they should not hear. Yeah. Okay. They, basically they refused to hearken to the laws of the Lord. They refused to because Joshua 1, I think Joshua 1:8 or Joshua 1, Joshua, not Joshua. I think it should be, but it goes back into, but going back to the I'm just paraphrasing. It goes, the precept goes into that. Keep these laws into your remembrance and obey them always, that thou shalt have good success. Just rather paraphrasing, but Jake refused to hearken and obey the word of the Lord. It says Zechariah 7:12, yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which the Lord YAHAWASHI hosts has sent in his spirit by the foreign prophets. Therefore came a great wrath for the Lord YAHAWASHI hosts. Yeah. So the Lord YAHAWASHI sent the foreign prophets, to warn Jacob about, to warn Jake of the judgment that will ultimately going to come if they don't, if they don't obey the law. Okay, they don't, hearken unto the law, right? And this is what, there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, Jake think that, since Jake just think that that the Lord, he just forgot. Okay, he just forgot. And these what most of these people think that the Lord YAHAWASHI, he just forgot about all the things, even though he created everything. He just sitting in the heavens, forgetting, okay, about all the wickedness that have been going on. From the first person created, from the from Adam Eve on down to this modern generation, that Lord forgot, that the Lord he's not gonna, that or that taking the one that the Lord is sending, okay, onto the highways and hedges, okay, to warn, okay, to caution, okay, Jake about the judgment that they're about to get, to the ultimate, to the wicked, not just to Israelites, but to the other nation, to the heathen, okay, about the judgment. Because remember, we were sent to, the prophets of the Lord. They were sent to all nations, right? So they were sent to. They prophesied against many countries, against many nations, and against many kingdoms. Okay, those many kingdoms, many nations going. You're not just talking about one kingdom or one nation. Talking about many nations, right? And this is what we're doing now. Okay, we're prophesying again. Those includes the Esau. Okay, America, Great Babylon. Okay, the Gog. Okay, the Russians, who else? Moab, China, okay, Ammon, Japan. So, and we're telling them through the Spirit, okay, that their judgment is ultimately coming, right? And this is what the Lord telling this, and this is what, and they're guess what, they're not taking that, they're not taking it, they're not, it's not any urgency is not taking place, okay, from Jake, okay, so ultimately this is why, you know, there won't be any excuses, okay, when the Lord does bring before judgment, there won't be, there's just won't be any excuses, right? Because the Lord gonna, you know, he gonna basically, let Jake know that I sent you, my prophet, I sent you, based my man, that, you refuse, okay, to, which, because we're not speaking, this is not of our, we're not speaking from our own spirit, okay, we're speaking our, this is the spirit of the Lord that's in us, that's speaking through us, okay, so them not obeying us is them not obeying the Lord, okay, and this is what the Lord is basically going to, right, by when you go to Zechariah, okay, and going back to Jeremiah, going back to Isaiah, Amos, etc., right, those men, the Lord spoke through those men, right? And ultimately the nation of Israel refused to obey the voice of those men, and guess what? Judgment always came. So judgment is never going to fail. Okay, judgment is always going to come. It's just going to come when the Lord wants it to come. So therefore, Zechariah 7:13 says, therefore it is come to pass that as he cried, and they would not hear, so they cried, and I would not hear, said the Lord hosts, right? And this is what I'm going to, right? So in the time that we're coming to, this world is going to continue to deteriorate. It's going to continue to get worse, it'll continue to get more wicked, so the Lord, so we're, ultimately, Lord, he about to start, his spirit is about to move, okay, on this earth. Wherefore, he's going to actually, he's about to bring forth death, destruction, okay, and chaos. And guess what, Jake? They're going to be, by them crying, them praying, okay, them seeking guidance, them trying to seek the Lord. But guess what, the Lord, he's going to be, he's not going to be found. Okay, he's going to hide himself from the voices of these wicked Israelites. But I scatter them with a whirlwind among all the nations whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through nor returned, for they laid the pleasant land desolate, meaning what? That pleasant land is going back to the land of Jerusalem. Okay, and we were scattered amongst all nations. Okay, this is why you have Israelite foreigners. This is why you have Israelite foreigners, or have Israelites amongst these other nations, right? Living in these other countries, right? Whether it be in the country, whether it be different areas of the world, right? Scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, right? You have the elected scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and ultimately, just the whole nation of Israel, the whole is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And thus we are in those different nations, we are in captivity in those different nations. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through nor returned, for they laid the place of land desolate. Okay, and this ultimately, is going into how Jake was exiled. Okay, and it was made. It was and it was they were exiled to these other nations. Okay, basically they were because that land was ultimately it was possessed. It became under the possession of these under the during this time the Persians. Okay, for they laid the pleasant land desolate. I mean the way it was destroyed, it was just complete. It was just complete wickedness. It was just complete. It was foul. Okay, because what Jake refuses to obey the word of the Lord. Go back to Deuteronomy 28. Okay, yeah, they refuse to obey the law. Okay, and thus, they only got that they got the curses. Okay, they got all the curses written in Deuteronomy 28. Well, that's 10 down, I believe. So I'm going to close it here. I'm going to praise to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, QADASH. That's what I'll say. Shalom.